if you get caught once for that, you should be very careful the next time. So I mean, I have a hard time buying that, to be honest.
This is Jonathan Anger, for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Otto Wallin over Zoom. Otto, how's life been in New York, training and getting ready?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Just came back from some sparring out in Brooklyn, so that's good. But yeah, just training and trying to live the right life. And I've actually said yes to a fight in September, but it's not signed yet, so I can't really speak about that.
Okay, brilliant. So is that going to be a big name, or because you haven't fought in a while, so is it going to be sort of like a guide to get you ready for the big names, or?
Yeah, no, it's actually a pretty big name, I would say. A pretty big name, yeah. So it's exciting. I'm hoping that it's gonna come through.
Great. Well, we'll look forward to hearing that news hopefully soon. Straight into the breaking news that you would have woken up to, and I woke up to as well, because I'm in Dallas and you're in New York. So Joshua-Whyte is off. Dillian Whyte, an analytical adverse finding in a VADA test. Dillian has released a statement saying that he is innocent and things like that. What was your reaction when you heard the news this morning?
Not very surprised, to be honest. It's his third time now, so yes, I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but at the same time, 3 times is very suspicious. And why would that happen? And if like you said, the first time I think it was from a pre-workout. So if that's the case, then you got to be really careful with what you take, right? So to make sure nothing ever happens again. And then second fight with Rivas, he tested positive before the fight. He still went on, had the fight, and now this. So it's a bad look, and I don't like it at all, of course.
Just to make the point to the viewers, because it's 8 p.m. in the UK at the moment, when we go to record this, because I'm sure this is going to develop and things like that. Obviously, we don't know what the substance is that was found, I guess, in his system. So is it a case of we wait and see and things like that? I mean, as a fighter, is it disappointing, or does it make you think maybe other people are doing things?
Yeah, I think that it's very disappointing, but I'm not surprised. I mean, have you tested positive twice before? Why wouldn't you do it again? It's just I've never tested positive. I have VADA testing for a bunch of my fights, and I'm clean, so I don't test positive for anything. And I'm very careful with what I eat and the other supplements that I take to make sure there's nothing shady. And I don't really think there's any excuse. Of course, we want to see what the finding was, but it's just bad. I mean, it shouldn't happen. And I think boxing is a dangerous enough sport without drugs. So yeah, we don't need that.
You mentioned sort of being diligent about the supplements you take and things like that. How is it difficult as a fighter to know exactly what's you can take and what you can't take? Because sometimes I guess, like you mentioned, a pre-workout, can you be for sure know like everything that's on the ban list basically?
Well, the ban list is out there. So if you get VADA tested, VADA has the ban list that you can just go in and research and see what it is, and then you can look at your products. Of course, if you buy bad brands, you buy shady pre-workouts or whatever, then of course I think that there's a possibility of contamination. For myself, I eat protein, powder, other vitamins, vitamin D, and different stuff, but zinc, magnesium, stuff like that. But I try to get it from good brands, and hadn't had a problem. But I know that there could always be some contamination, but I mean, if you get caught once for that, you should be very careful the next time. So I mean, I have a hard time buying that, to be honest.
If it turns out that White is guilty and that is proven, what do you think the punishment should be?
Well, this is the third time, so I think that should be it for him. He shouldn't be allowed to fight anymore.
Okay.
I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, I shouldn't. I don't think that any other sport would let him fight or compete. You know, take track and field. They have one test that's dirty. You know, you're gone for like 4 years, and should be the same in boxing. And you know, if he had got 4 years the first time, something like that the second time, and then the third time, you know, that should be it. It shouldn't be allowed.
In terms of you know, Joshua's looking for an opponent to fight next Saturday. You know, he's preparing for an orthodox fighter. You are a southpaw, but I'm sure you would jump at that opportunity to fight him next Saturday, would you?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I'm already in training and I'm in good shape, and I'll be ready for it. I kind of doubt that they will go for a southpaw right now, but unless there are other guys, you know, I'm ready for it. So I want it, of course.
And is it a case of you know, waiting for, I guess, Eddie Hearn to contact your team, or how does it work behind the scenes?
I've asked my lawyer to reach out to them. So
Okay.
so and if they are interested, they will reach out also. So yeah, they probably reach out to my lawyer or something like that.
If it's not you, in an ideal world, who would you like to see Joshua face? I mean, Andy Ruiz called him out like an hour ago or something. Who would be a good opponent in your opinion if it's not yourself?
Well, that's a good question. You know, with the landscape right now, I can't really see anyone. I can't really think of anyone because you have Usyk's tied up, of course, Fury, Dubois, Joyce, Shang, everybody's tied up. So if I was Joshua's team, I'd probably bump up Jared Washington, you know, get that fight, and Chisora fight somebody else. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense for him to have somewhat an easy fight and move on to Wilder.
So if that's the case, you know, do you think then, obviously, you know, from a business point of view, in the UK it's on pay-per-view, would you say that should then change if it's like a Washington, with respect?
Yeah. I mean, that shouldn't be a pay-per-view fight. But it's a really good card, though. I like the card with Hergovich, McKean, and Chisora. See what happens with him then. And then John Fisher, I think, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty good heavyweight fights. But, I mean, if he fights Jared Washington, it shouldn't be pay-per-view, I think.
And then just before we close up, I didn't speak to you, or it wasn't announced when I last spoke to you in New York. Joyce and Zhang goes down, the rematch, late September. How do you think that's going to go? You've obviously sparred Zhang. I don't know if you sparred Joyce, but how do you think it's going to go?
I never sparred Joyce, but I've seen him in training when I was sparring with Joshua, but that was a long time now. But I think that fight is pretty interesting. I think that Joyce, of course, has a good chance of winning, but he needs to make some adjustments. And you know, he was hurt once, and he can be hurt again. So I think that is going to be interesting because we'll see now with Joyce. I think that he's had kind of this aura of being invincible, and you know that he can take any shot from anybody, and he's just, you know, big guy, keeps coming forward and throwing a lot of punches. So that might change now. I think that maybe his confidence has gone down a little bit. He understands that there's a lot of things that he needs to work on, and that he has some limits. So that would be interesting to see how Joyce comes back. But I think that Shang, he probably wins again. But I don't think it would be easy, but I think he'll win again.
Also, just a quick one today. I appreciate you jumping on. I mean, September isn't far away, so I'm guessing an announcement is imminent. So look forward to hearing about that. And any final message to your fans?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say that I want to thank everybody for the support. And I mean, I've been training this whole time, but I've been having a hard time getting real fights lately. So I'm really hoping this September fight is going to come off. And then I think there's really exciting times ahead for me. And I think that there's some good changes that are happening for me.
Good to hear. Also, appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.